Podcast time here. Podcasts. We like podcasts. You watch podcasts. Hopefully this is the best one you watch. Hopefully you watch this one the most. There's a lot of podcasts to choose from.
Hell yeah.
That's the truth. And we sure appreciate it if you're watching this one. And sometimes you don't even want to watch a podcast. Sometimes that's the truth. But other times you come here to see this podcast in its entirety.
And that's also the truth.
That's true as well. And yeah,
Two things can be true.
Two things can be true. And then you know it is the Metafiles. You probably know that already, but if you don't, this is the podcast that's called the Metafiles.
That's true.
And,
that's true.
That's true as well. Don't stop. And you know, maybe if you haven't watched this before, you need to know that it's a podcast that talks to you.
Yes.
You know, it's a podcast that asks. You know, we talk about. You know, lots of podcasts talk about all kinds of things.
Sure.
You know, we talk about
fishing podcasts.
Fishing podcasts.
Etc.
Etc. We talk, you know, Joe Rogan, he talks about all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He gets all kinds of messes on, you know, he's...
Not as much fishing as I'd like.
Yeah, he's never talked about fishing too much.
Not enough.
Yeah, and he, you know, he gets, people watch his podcast. And so, you know, but this one, you know...
I listened to that Mark Maron.
Uh-huh.
Because it was called WTF.
Yeah, it is, yes.
And I thought it might be Watch This Fish. It ain't.
Watch This Fish with Mark Maron.
It ain't.
It ain't.
I tuned in just dudes at a table.
Yeah.
Not like us.
Two mammals.
Show them a fish on the fact tube, Jay.
Yeah, largemouth bass.
Let's undo Mark Maron.
Quite a catch.
Butte.
That's Butte. Yeah, so, you know, there's podcasts, you know, people have been podcasting for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've been doing it for years and years. And,
2024, 2023,
right.
2022, 2021, 2020, etc.
That's true. But today you're watching the Metafiles, and we talk about the we, the world, and a bunch of other podcasts don't talk about things quite the same way as us.
Mm-mm. Not how we do it around here. They don't.
But that's why you're watching us, because it's the way we talk about it, and that's the way you want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about the we, the world, and we don't do any we don't pull any punches neither.
We talk about we.
That's right.
World talk about world, and why talk about why.
Why? Well, we'll talk about that. But yeah, and that's
why I'll talk about. Why will.
Well, And I'm Jason. I'm one of the hosts.
And I'm Zach. I'm the other host.
And this here's episode 97. And
sure is.
We going to talk about barbecue. Sure are.
Yes, we are. And to help us talk about it, I have these authentic Diamond brand Strike Anywhere matches, and I'm going to just go ahead and strike this anywhere.
Anywhere you please.
I choose the table. Damn it. I choose the table. We'll edit this part out. Look at that here. It's stuck right up on the table like that. We're going to light this here bomb with it.
Careful now.
And then the bomb, and then we put the bomb on fire. Look at all them halibuts rising up. And that's fishing.
Halibuts.
And you can barbecue fish. You can barbecue lots of things.
I would not personally barbecue any fish on a grill on an open flame.
Hmm.
I would think maybe salmon would work.
I was fixing to counter you with salmon.
But I've never tried that, and I don't know if it actually enhances the flavor. I can cook some pretty damn good salmon in a skillet.
And a salmon, a skillet, that is to say, is different than a grill or a barbecue, is it not, Jay?
It is.
And we will discuss the ways in which that is the case.
Rest assured. Zach, do you like barbecue?
Well, now, Jay, that there's a question which requires an answer, is it not?
I would go as far as to say that every question on this podcast requires an answer.
Does it not?
Unless otherwise specified. And it will be specified.
And when and if such a question, which is rhetorical, arises, I will enjoy that.
Now,
Do I enjoy barbecue?
The rhetoricity of these questions is disputable. Do you like barbecue?
I do, and I know that that is not a rhetorical question, and I will answer it now. I enjoy a pulled pork sandwich
Oh, yeah.
liberally.
That's good. Oh, yeah.
That there just about does it. Oh, a hot dog off the grill. Now that's the best. That's the finest hot dog, certainly. But a brisket, skip it.
Really?
Barbecue wing, not my thing. Barbecue
Wow.
chips, again out, skips.
Well, chips like you're talking potato wedges?
Lay's, Ruffles.
Oh, the flavored barbecue chips.
Yes.
Okay.
Sweet Baby Ray,
So,
not today.
Ridged?
I might have a mind.
I was trying to think of something that rhymed with ridged that would carry on that bit.
Ridged?
Ridged?
Ridged. Leave them in the fridge,
Yeah.
but then they're still in the fridge, facing you each time that you...
Ridged, throw them off a ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Well, I was thinking the ridge would be full of French onion dip.
Oh,
And I'd eat them after that.
you'd have a tough time finding me not placing my hands together and diving down my own self into that there ravine. Hell. But yes, the pulled pork sandwich, one of the finest sandwiches.
Well, it's really confusing that you... So you wouldn't eat brisket or ribs?
Oh, I
Or some
do love
barbecue
ribs. I do
chicken?
love ribs. Ribs are
Some hamburger?
fantastic. A hamburger, what's come off a grill, is not particularly any more special to me than any other hamburger.
I just can't imagine not liking anything that falls into the barbecue category.
Now let me
It's hard to feature.
let me assuage your doubt.
You can try.
I do not dislike these things.
Okay.
However, they do not cause me to hop on a bicycle and pedal to the metal in the way that a pulled pork sandwich or ribs most certainly does. Brisket, I don't get it.
You have to ride your bike to every meal?
I would. Would the meal compel such an action? Brisket would not. I don't. It's just sort of pasty beef.
What about Baja Blast flavored Doritos?
from the grill?
Just from the bag from the gas station.
Does such a chip exist?
I would like to believe so, but perhaps the future, as yet unforeseen, will reveal them to us.
I look forward to that day with saliva in my jowls.
I got the saliva saved up for that specific occasion.
You keeping it right back here?
Yeah, yep.
That's prime real estate. The right back cheek.
Pardon me, ma'am, that's just my spit. I'm saving it for, well, Baja Burrito Doritos.
I apologize if I'm being perceived
Baja
as impolite during this spaghetti dinner by chewing exclusively on the left side of my mouth.
You may have noticed.
You see, I'm saving this quadrant for such a time as when the Dorito brand reveals their next great masterpiece to me. Anyway, where did you go to school? It was a first date, you see.
Spaghetti on a first date. Wow.
Yeah, no risk, no reward. Jay, do you your own self enjoy barbecued foods?
There isn't. There isn't an iteration, fashion, or imagined form of barbecue which I do not indulge in with great delight. Not nary one. I could eat any fashion of barbecue, fiddle, any of them. Any one.
Barbecued shrimps.
Oh yeah, that tastes so good. I love them.
Barbecued snake.
Oh yeah, I love that too.
Barbecued egg.
Terrible way to cook an egg, but I have had some good eggs over fire. They can be good if you do them right. It'd be just a skillet on the grill.
Does that count?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Suppose the skillet is the condom of that equation.
Wow.
In that you can cook an egg
grilling.
using one. And you've tried my Zach's special condom eggs.
Yeah. It's kind of like a poached egg.
It's quite like that, yes. Unwrap the condom, pull egg from carton, place egg in condom, place condom tied in boiling water.
And you can use them afterwards. They're fine. They're none worse for
Sure,
wear.
they're boiled.
They're boiled.
That's as sanitized as an egg can get.
That's right. You can put the egg anywhere you want. You can cram it anywhere, and you can use a condom too.
You can cram that egg
anywhere
you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's between you and the egg, as far as I'm concerned. Now, Jay, can you explain brisket to me? I don't get it. It's like wet.
I would foist the burden of proof regarding that question onto yourself.
I am so foisted.
Anyone who doesn't appreciate brisket, I question them. It's beef. It's like a hunk of beef, and it's tender. You got tender, juicy beef.
But it's...
How do you not like that? You don't even need the sauce. You don't even need it if it's good brisket.
I found it to be quite flavorless, and also
you just haven't had good brisket.
Slimy in a certain sense.
Yeah, you just haven't had good brisket.
I suppose not, and I'm not too proud to admit it.
Here on YouTube, you admit that to all the people?
I do indeed. I admit it, and I strive to change.
That's very brave.
And I will try good brisket, if and when some becomes available to me.
If the good Lord sees fit, I do hope you try brisket. Yes, sir.
However, when I'm at a BBQ, or BBQ restaurant, it will be still the last thing that I try.
Well, that's fair.
I appreciate you considering that fair. Now, I do have another question for you, which retains two BBQs.
And also, barbecue is a laid-back food. If anybody's being an asshole about barbecue, then they don't know how to barbecue. Proceed.
The person serving it?
Anybody discussing it or, serving it or eating it or anything.
Am I that self-same asshole?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Let's pretend and have a flight of fancy.
Okay.
That we are now at a BBQ. And you, Jay, are the BBQ master. You control the grill. You control the spatula. Your hat is large.
Like the Pope's hat, but for barbecue.
Yes. And which hat is more important to me? Well, that's for me to know. Now,
Confess.
you are, of course, an intelligent man.
That has been submitted.
And you know that safety is important. So while you are grill master, you are wearing an apron. What does your apron say, Grill Master, BBQ Master Jason Ford? What's your darn apron say?
Well, that's maybe hand job the chef.
Okay.
Instead of kiss the chef, because somebody else say that.
Oh, I see.
Just like a really crass one.
A more ribald take on an old favorite. I missed
Hand job
it.
the chef.
I was busy considering how difficult it might be for you to concentrate on flipping things while you were being constantly tugged off by each attendee of your BBQ, which I assume would be well attended.
Maybe that's what my apron would say. It's hard to cook all this shit being constantly tugged off. Maybe it would say that.
That's quite a long apron, but that's not to its detriment necessarily.
Aprons are quite long.
They are quite long, you're right, and many people make the mistake of only using this area when you have much more space.
Very true. What about yourself?
Well, given this new information which has come to light, I would have to say that mine will read, "Thank you, first of all, for reading my apron. I really worked hard on it, and so I appreciate you devoting so much time and attention to it."
People at the barbecue are like, just reading it.
Yeah, and then, a lot of stuff in the middle, and then by the end it says, "And that is why I am convinced that the earth is flat." And, all the stuff in the middle happens too. But then on the back, on the strings at the back, one string and the other string, and you tie them so they're in the right order. So when people get to the end and they're like, "Huh?" you turn around and they're hanging from the bow.
Yeah.
J.K.
Okay. Well, they say brevity is the soul of wit. That has been. No, that would be fun. I would laugh at that. There's no doubt about it.
I wonder if the person who said brevity's the soul of wit just was out of material.
Oh, yeah, they were like, you know what? This shit doesn't have to be long anyways. It's not funny if it's longer. Nobody's funny when they write a bunch of shit. I'm funny.
I'm funnier. You wrote too many things, half-wit.
Yeah. What is it? What's that word? Brevity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brevity is the soul of wit.
That's right. And frankly, I'm so mad at you that I'm not going to write any more of my funny ideas down now.
No.
You ruined it for everyone.
And how is this for brevity?
Shame on you.
Fuck you.
2 words. Fuck you. Can't get shorter than that, Alan.
That's all true.
Yep.
Or maybe the apron would just say, taste it.
Taste what? I'm afraid you'd have many people gnawing on the hems of your apron if that was what was written on there.
Well, when I'm cooking up some barbecue, that's often the case. They get that smell in their nostrils and they start to gnaw on.
Now, I, of course, have made it quite clear what my favorite and least favorite items at a BBQ are. Let's return to the BBQ, in which your apron reads of tugging it and such.
Yeah.
And you, as grill master, of course, have the pick of the litter. What is the item you are most reticent to see goodbye? And least wise.
Are you done? I would agree with you if a number one spot is pulled pork. I mean, sometimes you get some that's not that great and it's dry and stringy, and but I did have a party one time when I was leaving Florida. It was a going away party for me and my friend, and our friend cooked a 40-pound hog for us over the course of about 18 hours.
My goodness. Apple in mouth?
Well, it was in a big smoker. The big old honking fucking smoker. And he basted it with apple juice.
Okay.
And did everything right. He researched it, did everything fucking right. And it was to this day the best barbecue, not even close. It was like good pulled pork is amazing, but when you get the top shelf, really how it's supposed to be, it's just you can't stop eating it.
You're salivating so hard you're having difficulty finding your words.
It's insane. Yeah, it's next level cuisine. I'd challenge any 5-star restaurant to aspire to that delectability.
Here's a question I think is kind of fun.
Sure.
When we're eating most animals, this is not the case, but when we're eating a pig, we think maybe it'd go good with apple. Or when it's ham, when that's called ham now, maybe it'd go good with pineapple.
Sure.
Why do we think pigs like fruit so much?
Yeah, that's funny.
You ever think about that?
They like just about anything they can get in their mouth, really.
That's true. Why not stuff a pig's mouth full of a little bit of garbage newspaper when you're cooking it? They eat those.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say my least favorite.
Oh, right.
Moving on.
Yeah, wasn't it fun though? Thinking about why does a pig like fruit so much?
It was kind of fun a little bit, I guess. I don't know. Did you say your least favorite?
Brisket. Brisket, I skip it.
Yeah, my least favorite, and it is hard to pick because just like pulled pork, sometimes it's kind of impossible to pick actually. But the one that comes to mind if I had to is just like pulled pork, if it's done bad, it can be kind of shitty, but when it's done like it should be, it can be fucking fantastic.
I think I know
chicken.
where you're going. I knew he was going to say chicken. Yes.
Yeah. Here in Nashville, we have this place called Monell's. And they do barbecue chicken. And it's just it's unbelievable. It's just unfucking believable, but so many times it's just so dry and people just can't pull it off like that. So that will be my least favorite. Basically just because of that unfortunate reality.
And to be fair to BBQ as a genre, chicken is very difficult to cook well, no matter how.
Yeah, it's true.
I myself had to learn. My chicken was quite overcooked for quite a number of years.
That's always myself as well. That's always how it goes.
Because we are so terrified of the salmonella, not to return to an old topic, salmon. Oh.
Yeah.
Barbecue chicken. See, this is the same kind of as brisket in a way for me. if I'm having barbecue, why am I allowing anything to take up room in my gut that is not a delicious piece of pork?
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Well, welcome to Lay Plays. This is the part of the podcast where I pitch a podcast idea that might be better than this podcast. Potentially.
What do we got?
Well, I think this week we're going to do Gorilla Buster. And it's called that because I couldn't think of a better portmanteau, a better pun for grilling and politics. So
Gorilla Buster's pretty solid.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Welcome to Gorilla Buster, your source for all the latest grilling political developments. Our top story for this episode: the Chicago Style Party, based in New York, has entered an effort for legislation that would allow ketchup throughout the city of New York on any hot dog. Or, I'm sorry, the city of Chicago on hot dogs. Pretty intense.
I can't hold my tongue. I'm disgusted by this.
Disgusted.
I'm disgusted by this movement.
Our guest for this podcast episode is the hot dog expert, Anthony Weiner. Thank you for coming.
No relation.
So, what do you have to say about this bun pack number? You know, you've mentioned that 4 hot dog buns could actually be an option on the table going forward for hot dogs.
Well, to answer this question, I unfortunately need to step a little further back.
Okay.
There has, of course, been a debate raging throughout this country for many years, and I hate to even bring it up because it's frankly been talked to death. But, of course, the question being, is the hot dog a sandwich? Now, we've all heard this. It's become, frankly, a tired discussion. However, what's been forgotten in it is that a sandwich actually uses 2 pieces of bread. And yet, when we place a hot dog in a bun, which is a single unit, we often forget to place a second unit on top of it as one would with any other given sandwich.
Fact check, you're wrong. This is just proven by the existence of the lobster roll.
Forgive my saying.
And I may say
but,
as well,
I do not see any lobster roll experts on this panel today.
There are people who say you don't even eat hot dogs.
That is a bold-faced lie. That is a bold-faced lie.
So you've eaten hot dogs. You're willing to say on this podcast right now that you've eaten hot dogs. Because somebody who does not eat hot dogs has no position as the hot dog expert in this.
I'd like to relate a story. Just this Sunday after church, I was sitting with my lovely wife, je ne sais quoi, having a fine post-prayer brunch of baked beans with little hottie doggies chopped up inside of it.
That doesn't count as a hot dog.
Sir,
you're trying to put lipstick on a pig here.
Well, I'm here as a hot dog expert, but I can also tell you I did once put lipstick on a pig, and it looked fantastic, so...
Wow. Breaking story.
Very handsome animal.
Breaking political story.
Very handsome.
Political pundit and hot dog expert Anthony Weiner
enjoys
pigs with lipstick on them. Wow.
The point is that if you're making a hot dog, you should use the top piece of bun, and then the numbers work out.
So you're seriously suggesting 2 slices of white bread, a hot dog cut in half in the middle, and placed between the two slices of bread.
I'm saying that
to be
one
eaten
bun,
such as a sandwich would be.
one bun
Excuse me.
equals the bottom slice of bread, and a second bun equals the top slice of bread. And I'm seriously saying that.
Kind of. This isn't comedy. People take politics very
I
seriously.
know,
We're
I'm
trying to
being
fix
serious.
We're trying to fix the problems as a country.
I agree.
Moving on.
Yes, please, let's move on. I'm so sick of the fucking hot dog.
The Hamburger Administration has come under fire recently
Fuck them.
for outlawing mustard on a federal level on hamburgers. Your response?
Fuck them.
Wow.
If you're gonna eat a hamburger, put 2 hot dogs next to each other and eat that instead. Please.
I would expect no less.
Let's get real. Let's get real.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming on. That'll be quite enough. Thank you for watching Grillabuster. Tune in next week. Stay informed. Good evening. See, yeah, and grilling politics, it's pretty serious.
Yeah. It got very heated between those two. Heated as a barbecue mine, one could even say.
We'll be right back. Think about it. We'll be right back. Welcome back to segment Metaphiles podcast 2.
You're close.
Metaback files seg comment 2. Well, here we are.
Well,
Segment 2, barbecue in the world.
mm-hmm.
Now, I suspect that we're going to find out that the idea of barbecue came from someplace entirely separate from these continental United States. And of that prospect, I am fearful. But anyway.
You're scared.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jay,
Those aren't strike anywhere matches. They're strike about 5 times anywhere matches.
shut the fuck up.
Okay. Yeah, all right. You were saying?
They do barbecue everywhere in the
Oh.
world, Jay.
Oh, well. Okay.
And
Well,
so I'm
fine.
sorry to increase your fear.
I'm shaking in my apron.
Well,
Shaking in my hand job the chef apron.
and not from the hand jobs, during which one would be known to shake.
All right.
Perhaps by the end of this segment, Jay, and it is my dearest hope that what begin as fear become joy.
We'll see.
Let's find out. BBQ, of course, refers to a cooking method, device, style, and gathering. All of these things are BBQ. Example, I am going to BBQ this pork. I am going to cook pork on the BBQ. I am going to cook the pork BBQ style.
You're making me hungry.
And come on over to the BBQ. There will be pork there.
Uh-huh.
The etymology of BBQ comes from barbacoa, from the Spanish, which comes further from barabicu, from the Arawak people of the Caribbeans, and Timucua peoples of Florida.
Wow.
So in a way, barbecue began in a place which you are quite familiar with, although I know you do not want to be painted with that brush.
Oh no, just when I thought that I could not be more filled with pride for my homeland.
Mm-hmm. Also, you paint meat with a brush.
That's right.
That's what I was doing, that gesture.
That's right, you do.
Now, these words, barbacoa and BBQ, translate to mean a framework of sticks set upon posts upon which meats can be cooked. So it was, in fact, first and foremost, the device.
A device. Well, I mean, we use a device of sorts that resembles such a description, except in the sticks are metal.
Yes. And the posts are metal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these words and what would become the spelling that we know, which is, of course, BBQ, was
but
first...
that's not how you spell the whole thing. It's BARBECUE.
Yes, BBQ. This was first used in print in 1526, a very old year, by Spanish explorer Gonzalo Fernandez de Oviedo y Valdez.
Nice feller.
Mm-hmm. He learnt it from some Spaniards who was traveling with Christopher
Columbus?
Fuckhead Columbus, who he saw some Taino peoples of the Caribbean or Bahamian archipelago.
Archipelago, what?
A series of small islands.
Thank you.
These fellers and ladies were roasting meat over a grill which consisted of a wooden framework resting on sticks. This framework was also used to store food above ground.
I will say as well that my mother-in-law could be considered barbecue. She is a wooden framework resting on sticks. So, but she just bakes casseroles and stuff. So, anyway.
Jay, they're gonna get you for that one.
Hey, man.
Oh, man.
I ain't scared.
But listen here. This framework, what they use to cook on, they also use it to store the food above ground and for sleeping on.
Wow, okay.
3 feet above the ground. Now, can you fucking imagine sleeping on top of a barbecue, Jay?
Yeah. I ain't quite ready for bed. It's a little hot still.
Oh, heck. My sheets is all wet from how much I was drooling, from how good my bed smells.
You just wake up hungry every single time.
Every single time. You gotta make yourself a condom egg real quick. Because you wake up hungry.
I woke up on my grill again. I need a condom egg 'cause I'm hungry. It smells great.
Now, we're going to hear about some barbecue from all around the world, Jay. And maybe you'll like it.
I'm really getting hungry on this episode, I'll tell you.
And that's something is for the commenters.
Here's some barbecue around here.
There is not. There is not.
Go ahead, I interrupted you.
It was plumb foolish of us not to consider this. In South Africa, the weather is very nice in the summer, and people like to spend their time outside. And they will often be found...
I believe they call it South Africa.
Yes. In South Africa, they have brevelets.
It's like
Brevelet.
the Dutch
Brevelets.
version. Is that barbecue breakfast?
Hell, I'm no good with accents. That sounded more Scottish, but what it means, I forgot to write down what it means exactly. But it's a big old potluck party. It's a big old potluck.
Is that a potluck party?
It's a big old potluck that everybody is invited to. You just go do it somewhere and everybody comes.
Big old potluck.
You don't even got to make up invitations and send them out or nothing. You just start a cooking and everybody shows up, and that's what you wanted to happen.
That's a great community activity.
It is indeed.
Without a doubt.
And they know this as a thing so much that everybody smells that brave lace starting to happen, and they say, grab a chips, grab a soda, and everybody brings snacks and drinks.
That is seriously such a fucking... I'm really envious of that being part of their culture. You just smell it,
Yeah.
and you're just like...
There's a bravless going. Hey, mama.
Just get some... Mama! Get the fuck... You get the ribs out of the fucking freezer.
You don't got to get the ribs, you get snacks and such. And they call it a bringing brile. And
I'm really, honestly quite jealous of that.
It's fantastic. The person who started it, they're cooking the ribs, and you're eating snacks and having sodies until it's all ready. And then you give them some snacks and sodies, and you get some ribs, presumably.
Wow.
I don't know that there's that much of an exchange necessary. And if you want to have yourself an adult beverage, then they call it a dopenchove. Dope means alcohol, and chove means lamb, which is typically served.
Wow.
They
like
serve
mutton.
like that. At a bright place, gas cooking is acceptable, but kind of frowned upon. Really, you got to do it over flame. And you can do it with charcoal, okay, but come on, we all know it's got to be wood.
Well, also, you're counting on people smelling it. So you want them to have the best type of smell.
That's right.
That they can smell.
And amongst other things, of course, they serve bratwurst. I'm no good with accents. It's a kind of sausage. 10% spices, maximum 30% fat, and no organ meat except for the casing, of course. So a very rich sausage there. They serve something called
That sounds very good.
sosapti, which is a kebab of lamb usually. Chakalaka, which is a spicy vegetable relish.
Boom!
Pap, which is like a little cornmeal cake. Flip right off the grill there.
I love cornmeal so much. I really fucking do.
It's delicious. And they use something called monkey gland sauce, which I would try.
I must admit I have some apprehensions based on the name of that sauce.
Because we're not sure which gland.
I'm not sure which gland I would readily accept a type of sauce from.
As long as the monkey's not being harmed.
Of course, that's no one concern.
Which it's possible to stimulate a monkey's gland without harming it, I would certainly hope.
I think so. Happened to me last night.
We're going to move over now to China. In northern China, they serve something called chuaner, which is small pieces of meat, usually lamb, roasted over charcoal and put on skewers. And this is so popular that it is in fact a street food. You could just be walking down the street in China, flip old buffalo nickel down, grab yourself a skewer, a barbecued lamb, just keep on a-walking. How come we don't have that here?
We got a lot of problems, we do.
In Cantonese regions, they serve long, narrow strips of pork marinated in honey and soy sauce, which they call char siu, and this is also just right there on the damn street.
That sounds so fucking good.
What
God.
What an Eden.
Yeah.
They also like to have an outdoor barbecue, but in theirs, everybody is cooking their own meat around the fire, and they have restaurants where there's a barbecue right in the middle of the table. You just cook it right there at the table.
BYOM.
BYOBBQ. M,
yeah,
which,
BYOBBQ.
in which the M stands for meats or materials.
I'm hearing a lot of very good fresh barbecue related ideas.
Yes.
It's really a magical category of food. It really is.
It's quite fantastic, and to soak up so much culture.
Oh, I'm soaking.
In Korea, they have bulgogi, which is thin sliced beef, and galbi, which is marinated ribs. In both cases, they use a marinade of soy, sesame oil, garlic, and chili flakes. And they once again cook that right at a grill right on your table for you, and they serve it with rice and kimchi. Do you know what kimchi is, Jay?
I've never actually tried it, but I am familiar with what it is.
The same
like to
is
try it.
true of my own life experience.
Oh yeah, I love sauerkraut. I can't.
As
I
do
can't
I.
Feature being too far afield of sauerkraut.
A spicier sauerkraut?
That sounds fantastic.
Where have I been? Where have we been?
We just been fucking around, man.
It's shameful. In Japan, they prefer vegetables and seafood on their BBQs, although they will use other things, of course. And also, they will BBQ up a yakisoba noodle. BBQ noodles.
Yakisoba.
Yakisoba. BBQ noodles.
What? That sounds ridiculous.
It sounds ridiculously delicious.
Yeah, it does.
BBQ noodle.
BBQ noodle?
Stir fry, basically.
I honestly, and honestly, it's a bit dubious to me. I'd be a little bit suspicious trying it.
But are you picturing noodles slathered in BBQ sauce? Because it's not that.
Any modification on that concept doesn't quite help it out. It's it's the foundational premise of slapping a noodle on a damn barbecue.
But think of a stir fry. Same concept. Slightly adjusted.
The moisture levels would be I would think that would be a great difference.
Well, perhaps we will
Anyhow.
take us a road trip and find out for sure.
Heck yeah.
Over in Mongolia, they got korkog, which is a palm-sized stone that is heated and placed in a pot. Then a strip of lamb is placed. Then a stone is placed. Then a lamb strip is placed. Then a stone is placed until the pot is full, and they let that lamb get nice and
Tenderized.
briskified, I would imagine.
Wow.
In Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines, all of those places enjoy satay, which is meat on skewers, which is marinated, get this, in a curry and pulverized peanut spice medley.
I'm certain that is extremely delicious.
Indeed.
There's
now
no doubt about it.
I must admit, I am not a huge fan of introducing the peanut into a savory that sort of context generally, but the idea of the peanut tempering the curry sounds dynamite, and I don't mean like I threw off the table earlier.
Peanuts ain't are too dissimilar from jalapenos. It's just like, well, it's just gonna be good. Whatever the fuck you put that in, it's gonna make it fucking better. That's how I feel about peanuts.
If used in the right way. But sometimes you'll have a dish with a peanut sauce, and it sort of tastes like you're eating noodles in peanut butter a little bit. That galls me a tad.
Fair enough. No, that's fair enough.
But I believe with the curry, a balance would be struck, and I would love to try some satay. Now, in the Philippines, they do the satay. They also
I'll take a dish of your finest satay.
Not too peanut buttery, please. In the Philippines, they barbecue all kind of things, and amongst them, bananas, and they call it banana Q, and that's fun.
Well, it's extremely fun. That works.
Yeah,
that works. That's that tastes good.
It's got to, and I'm not even a huge banana fan.
Well, I mean, it just makes me think of plantains, but even better, honestly. I love plantains so much, but...
And, of course, one must wonder, Jay, as we did do an entire episode about bananas, as I recall, in which we learned that the modern banana that we in America eat is the derivative of the Cavendish and is actually quite flavorless. I wonder what sorts they're dealing with out there.
Very interesting. Very interesting, yeah.
Very interesting. I'd be
I
very
forgot.
interested.
I just completely forgot all that about bananas. That we're eating these shitty fucking bananas like our whole
Terrible
lives.
bananas.
It's fucked up.
It's a sad life that from uterus to under the ground, we must eat a subpar banana. Truly unfair. Anyway, in Singapore, they do stingray.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Stingray.
Now, you ever had a calamari? That's an octopus.
Calamar's pretty alright. I don't hate it, but
I'm somewhere lukewarm.
Yeah.
I feel that the preparation is quite important. I've certainly had a
That's
markedly
fair.
better and worse experience, depending on. But I feel that stingray would probably have a similar rubbery texture, but in a good way.
yeah, I can see why you would. I agree. That's true. And you know, them motherfuckers, they killed Steve. So we should eat as much of them as we want.
Mm-hmm.
They blew it.
Justice for Steve, I'd say, with each bite.
Justice for Steve. They violated the non-aggression pact.
Absolutely. And he was just trying to tickle her tummy, you know it.
Oh, I'm Steve. What? I love stingrays. Hello.
Hope one doesn't kill me. Oh.
And then he's dead.
I'm no good with accents. In India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, they do their BBQing in a tandoor, which is a large clay pot. Now, this large clay pot serves as both BBQ and oven. You can bake in it.
Sure.
So they'll BBQ up a meat while they're also at the same time baking up a flatbread, and all in the same pot. They're also making something called balaks and alus, which is roasted potatoes stuffed with cottage cheese and cashew.
Oh.
Good Lord.
Oh.
Hey, sign off in the comments. What timestamp did you start getting hungry? Because I know for me it's been...
Ah.
Also, they like to use a lot of marinades that include yogurt, giving it a creamy effect.
I can get down with that every day.
Absolutely. Now we're going to move over to the old Germany.
Yeah, the old.
Yeah, we are. Well, we'll do the Mediterranean first because it's a little less interesting. They got Slovakia skewers with hulami cheese, which is a kind of cheese I never heard of until today.
Slovakia is just a fancy word for like
A kebab.
cooked chicken. It's like it's barely different from shit like a chicken breast you put in your fucking oven. Like it's really, I don't like Slovakia. There's plenty of Greek food that's fucking amazing,
Of
but
course.
Slovakia is just, it's
Well,
not it.
Then
It's mid.
I should point out Slovakia is mid. I believe you. The main reason I put this one down was because it'll be Slovakia, sorry, but also with pita and also with hulami cheese, which is a kind of cheese that I never heard of until today. And there's still just more cheeses out there to be discovered.
It's a wonderful life.
While we may spend from uterus to underground enjoying subpar bananas, it is also possible that we will spend every breath of our life learning about new cheeses.
A very wise woman once said that life's a game of give and take.
Who said that?
Oh, hell.
Now, in Germany, they of course have their bratwursts, but they also have a kind of sausage I never heard of, which is called Thuringian sausage. And
Ferengi, like Star Trek.
Thuringian,
Oh,
like
okay.
Thor.
Oh.
Now, the reason perhaps that we have never tried Thuringian sausage is because it has, quote unquote, protected geographical indication status under European Union law.
Sounds like my fucking cousin, man. That kid's so spoiled.
I hate
can't.
your cousin.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Anytime he cooks anything, he says, this is protected under geographical indication status by European Union law. You can't ever have the recipe.
And I'm like, shut up.
It's just Frito pie, Dwayne.
What?
What, you put chives on it?
It's European now.
Now, we got one more.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Hit me.
Now, it's unfortunate that we are not going to be able to cover the United States and all its varieties of BBQ, of which there are, of course, some. But we will cover that in a way, because in Canada, U.S.-style barbecue was having such an impact that it was culturally imported to Canada. Post-World War II,
Mm-hmm.
from the beginnings of barbecue,
Yeah.
way back, way before anything,
Yeah.
the first thing that ever happened was it would be barbecued. Saw a lamb, said, I'm going to put that over a fire with some sticks.
The surface of the world was void and formless.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. The faces of the ocean.
Canada
Wow.
doesn't figure it out until about 1947.
Yeah.
Now, this coincided with the commercially driven popularization of a type of domestic masculinity for middle-class suburban fathers in the 1950s.
Can you repeat that?
This coincided with the commercially driven popularization of a type of domestic masculinity for middle-class suburban fathers in the 1950s. Now, these are the sorts of fellas who are out there grilling.
Mm-hmm.
These, you know the ones.
Yeah. They crank their lawnmowers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The
Yeah.
type of people who put a bad name on BBQ, frankly.
Sure.
And Canada agreed. Because this type of domestic masculinity for middle-class suburban fathers in the 1950s...
Somewhat of a, what's it called? Not a juxtaposition, but moron something.
Something moron.
Where the terms are button heads and they're antithetical to each other, but somehow placed together. Domestic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow.
Yes. An antithetical moronic idea.
There's a few of those going around.
And Canada agreed because this depiction of this domestic masculinity for middle-class suburban fathers in the 1950s was a huge, sharp break from the Canadian culture and sense of being. And by 1955, an article was published in popular Canadian news magazine Maclean's, which called the practice weird.
I get it. That's true.
Harsh by Canadian standards.
Yeah. Whoa, calm down, Canadians. It's please.
It's
You don't
weird.
have to go for the throat like that.
You're being weird.
Let us explain ourselves, please.
And barbecuing ended in Canada that day.
Yeah. That's so funny.
And that's the world. Everybody in the world barbecues, Jay. And they all seem like they do it pretty damn good.
It's a beautiful thing. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to the Metaphiles. This is segment 3 of the episode about barbecue. Like, people think about the southern United States for barbecue and stuff, and like, actually New Jersey has like some pretty fucking good barbecue. Like, we do some pretty fucking good meats and like seafood and shit like that. So it's not just like the South. Like, it's up here in New Jersey too.
You sound like a fucking Yankee, man.
I was just doing my New Jersey accent.
That was so accurate. You sounded
you.
just like one of those people.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dang on.
Well, anyways, why barbecue? Why?
This guy's a friggin' like a Jimmy Fallon over here doing
Jimmy
this voice.
Fallon.
Dude, that's how
He's
good
the
your
funniest man on the planet.
That's how good your voices was, as good as his.
I appreciate it. Why? Why?
George
We think
George
that,
H.W. Bush.
why?
Wow.
Why barbecue?
Hey, do the guy.
I do the guy from California
Do
who
that-
smokes
do
what,
that guy.
what smokes all
Do
week.
that guy. It's so good. Listen to this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, barbecue. I fucking love barbecue.
And he pronounced it BBQ because he's from California. He pronounced BBQ all crazy.
I mean, it's just like barbecue. That's like the word for it. I love that shit, though.
Imagine saying BBQ like that. Oh, you gotta stop, Jay. You're splitting my
well,
sides.
that's how they are out there. West Coast is a different animal.
Oh, hell. What are we supposed to talk about this time?
Why do we take these delicious meats, prepare them in such a way, cook them on a certain thing, and eat them
Yeah.
on some particular occasions?
What do you think? And I truly didn't think of this question until just now.
Sure.
What do you think's the first way we ever cooked something
Over far.
over a fire?
No seasoning.
Then somebody thought, hey, I don't need to hold this the whole time. We'll put a little thing up.
I don't need to burn my hand
Right.
the whole time.
Yeah, it tastes good, but my hand hurts.
I could put it on a stick.
I put it on a stick, put the stick on two other sticks doing like that. Then they said, let's put another one over there. Now it's hanging. Then they said, hey, some crazy genius said, hey, what if we put a whole bunch of them going like this? Just put it right on there.
Okay, it's making sense so far.
And then a barbecue, and then a BBQ was created.
Barbecue?
A barbecue.
And
I'm saying that's probably the first thing. Certainly it happened before microwave.
well, they didn't have no microwave. They didn't have a fucking pan
No.
or an oven.
No.
They didn't have a pressure fryer.
No.
They didn't have a pressure cooker.
They didn't have a condom.
That's true. They couldn't make condom eggs.
No.
They couldn't boil water because there's no vessel.
No.
There was no vessel that
No.
could do that.
Try putting water on a fire and cook it.
I tried that last night.
What happened?
I was real thirsty.
I know you were. So barbecue, why barbecue? I'm saying probably that's the first thing.
You're right. I think you're absolutely right.
Then, you add a little bit of paprika.
Mm-hmm.
You're off to the races, aren't you? And that was a rhetorical question.
Fair enough. So, okay. Very good point made. My thinking was, can you say that you're barbecuing if you cook a piece of chicken in your oven with some barbecue on top?
No.
Could you say it if
you're eating barbecue chicken?
But you ain't barbecuing.
You're not BBQing.
Could you have a whole bunch of people around in your yard and have your grill cooking some meat, but it's all slathered in olive oil and garlic? Are you barbecuing?
If I'm in the Mediterranean, perhaps. Yes.
Point rejected. My point is, fact check. My point is, barbecue describes something more than just like the way the meat tastes and the way you cook it. There's a lot of trappings that makes a barbecue a barbecue.
Yes. Point rejected, returned.
Okay.
That is what I was also saying, too.
I've decided to agree with you.
And I am humbled and pleased.
We can agree on this point. Yeah, well. So why barbecue?
It's
'Cause it tastes
delicious.
It just got some fucking taste
It
good.
tastes great.
That's why barbecue is
That's why.
fucking delicious.
Tastes good.
There we go.
Here, let me throw you another hard one.
Let's go, Socrates.
Okay, let me be Socrates. Why art it that thou is not... Yeah, I can't do it.
Oh,
If you were eating Taco Bell, why are you doing that?
It's available. You had a hankering.
Yeah. And why did you have a hankering?
Because a lot of times you're not just hungry. You're hungry for a specific thing. You can't really understand why, but you just are.
Yeah. And the reason why you are is... I am like Socrates right now.
Is this something they call the Socratic method?
It is.
Alright, well,
Want
you
me
caught
to-
me in a slow cooker. Is what you... Alright, well, because...
I'm crock-potting your ass right now,
All
Jay.
right.
You want me to take the lid off and reveal my secret agenda?
Emerson said that one not need to tend to his consistency in his opinions or beliefs. That he should simply state them at all times. And if they're sound, they are.
Emerson said that?
He did.
Damn.
And to your question then, I say, it's just better that
Because
way.
it tastes
It
good.
fucking tastes good.
That was the answer the whole time.
That's, you wouldn't do it for any other reason. Oh, I gotta pour some barbecue sauce over this chicken, put it in the oven, because once I eat it, my rent's gonna go up. So I'm just gonna do that.
That's not why.
You wouldn't do it if that was what's gonna happen if you did that.
You wouldn't
But when
place...
you do that and some chicken comes out of the oven, it's fucking delicious.
You wouldn't place a wedge of charcoal on the left side of a thing and on the right side of a thing and have it just kind of going and smoke coming up, and you put a piece of pork shoulder in the middle and you let the smoke happen to the pork shoulder for about 4 or 5 hours, and then you open the thing and you poke the pork shoulder and it's as soft as damn brie cheese. You wouldn't do that so that you could then take a bite and say, ugh, that's gross.
I'm gonna need your recipe. This is terrible.
No.
Nobody says that.
Nobody, not even Emerson, would say that.
Well, all right then. That's true.
And that's why damn barbecue.
Who's the fucking guy in all the Quentin Tarantino movies He's the old guy, and he always has this accent. And when
Yeah,
something happens, it's like
sure.
he says, "Well,
Yeah.
if he did this, I wonder why he."
And
does
that's
the same voice.
as fine a voice as any of them that you've done. That's a fine actor by the name of Michael Parks.
Michael Parks. All right.
A fantastic star of silver screen
With
and
such a
television.
And television.
Yeah,
It's such a funny bit when he comes on into
It's
a
good.
Tarantino movie.
it's good when he played in From Dusk Till Dawn, which I want to come back to the phrase I just used for a second, but remind me. He comes in, he's talking to his son who worked at the gas station, and he says, "Them burritos ain't good for nothing but a hippie," when he's high on weed.
Right.
Fantastic, because it's so true.
Yeah.
But also, where you grew up in Florida, one-time home of the Timucua people, but not when, I don't know if you, at any rate, when people were talking about actors, did they say, was he the one who played in ...
Yeah.
That's strange, isn't it? People say it that way. They say, "Oh, Tom Cruise, yeah, didn't he play in Mission Impossible?" Played? He's working hard. That ain't play for him. He'd jump off a damn helicopter.
You don't think he's in a union doing that? You better believe he is.
That's his job. That ain't
That's right.
playtime.
Mm-mm.
Also, it's not a play.
It's a movie.
I always find that strange that they say it that way.
How's that?
They say, didn't he play in that? And everybody does it. Back to where I'm from.
Well,
Well,
if it was barbecue, say didn't the guy with the apron that said hand job the chef, did he cook this? It's kind of like that.
their intent is not misplaced.
Mm-hmm.
It's simply a semantics issue which I am referring. One that always struck me. Hey Jay, what would you barbecue what's something weird you'd try barbecuing? Something weird. Not in the Canadian sense of the word.
Say it to my face.
I meant nothing by it. Calm down, calm down. Think what Emerson would do.
I'm not gonna do that.
A little off the beaten path.
I'm not gonna do that.
I got one for you. What if you tried to barbecue Jello? But in a dish. It doesn't just go through the grate.
So you're saying that we should buy Jello packets
Yes.
instead of turning them into Jello? Just make it like Kool-Aid.
No.
Mix it into
No.
water, and it's just fucking like Kool-Aid. And you
No.
just drink it.
You
It's
misrepresent
cheaper
me,
than Kool-Aid
sir.
'cause nobody
You misrepresent me. I don't know if you're doing it on purpose or not. But here's what I was saying. You got the first step correct. Buy some Jello. Second step, make the Jello in the usual method. Put it in a refrigeration unit of your choosing till it becomes gelatinous.
You put it on the grill, and it would turn into liquid, which is what I was alluding to.
You don't think it would turn into a sort of a molten, almost like a glaze?
That shouldn't be possible. I won't believe it. Do you realize what that would mean?
What would it mean?
do my little
What would it
English
mean,
accent.
for a British man?
It would be non-Euclidean.
You being Dr.
Alright.
Spark there?
Non-Newtonian. Maybe radioactive. Maybe magnetic. All that could happen. Anyways, what's
non-Newtonian? What is Newtonian?
the physics that Newton discovered?
Oh.
Gravity.
Inertia and such.
Yeah. Forces.
Hmm?
Forces.
Sure. What would you barbecue? BBQ, Jay?
Oh, right.
I say it wrong now because that dang Californian got
That's
in my
like
head.
one of my favorite bits is like, you ask a question, person just goes off
Sure.
for like 5 minutes, and then you wait until they finally stop talking. And you're like, "What would you barbecue?" It's so fucking funny.
Well, that's fortunate for you because it's a trademark of our style.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And we will get to the work here right quick after you.
Okay, you know what? So, I suggested this, I think to you maybe at some point, but also my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what if we took one of those breakfast sausage tubes?
Oh, sure, Jimmy Dean. It's
Exactly. Unwrapped it, didn't fuck with it elsewise, and just put it in the fucking oven on a tray
Sure.
for 300 at 350 degrees for like an hour or something like that.
baked Jimmy Dean.
It would be like I don't know if it'd be like a meatloaf result, or if the very middle would be cold and the outside would be like black ash.
More than likely that one.
That's what I would try because I want to know. And
But that gives me another idea.
barbecuing it would possibly work even better.
Let me lay this one on you, Jay. You know, they have this for food, but I'm picturing like a caulking gun. But they have that for food, like a turkey. One of these guys with a turkey,
Yeah, or like one of those the things.
and you squeeze it.
Yeah, or the things that the bakers have. That's a cone that they just turn it into a cone, put shit in there, and squeeze it out.
Yeah, and it makes so that there's something in the midst of something else. What I'm about to describe is almost going to be like a chicken cordon bleu, which do you know what that actually is?
I've heard tell of that. I've heard tell what that is.
It blew my
Chicken.
mind when I learned. It's chicken. It's a fancy French food where they take a chicken and stuff ham and cheese in the middle of it, which is something that if Pizza Hut came up with, everybody'd make fun of it.
Oh, what? No,
No,
it's French.
it's French.
It's fucking French.
What this chicken was missing was ham and cheese. Cordon bleu. Ooh la la.
Bon appetit. Yeah.
I'm suggesting we shove a turkey baster into a Jimmy Dean log, shove pepper jack in there, cook it up normal style, not in the oven. And now we got ourselves our very damn own kind of chicken cordon bleu, except better. Because I'm frankly not a big fan of ham.
And then we could deep fry it.
Yep. And dip it into a gelatinous jello type dip.
Now I gotta stop you right there.
Okay.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to stop you. Alright, what's the villain?
Okay.
Barbecue.
Okay.
Winter.
Winter is definitely a contender. I will offer one alternative, and they'll fight it out.
I ain't scared.
Okay. I think the villain of barbecue is salt and vinegar, or sour cream and onion.
So you're just taking this on a chip, on like the chip dimension.
Oh hell!
You're just thinking about chips.
You know how something you sometimes you don't see something until somebody points it out to you. I was thinking about chips.
That never happens to me.
Yeah. Well, winter was the correct answer. Winter's the villain of barbecue. You never hear of an Xmas BBQ. They don't have
That
those.
may be a pretty fucking fun tradition. If I
That
still
could
lived in
be.
Florida, I would probably maybe start that up.
Oh, it'd be more fun though in a more snowy environment.
Yeah, actually.
Everybody out there in their coats
it
with
would
their
be
hats
fun.
and scarves waiting for a pork shoulder to finish.
Hamburgers and hot dogs.
Warming their hands around the grill.
That's so funny. That's wow. Fires outside. It seems like that would make more sense in the wintertime than the summertime.
Yep. Also,
How's that
hey,
fucking work?
you know, we've been known to concoct a good idea or two. And I got one right quick and then we'll move on. Fireplace BBQ. It's a little grate you can fit into a fireplace during the winter times.
I actually watched a movie where I saw that.
Damn it. Don't tell me the name of the movie. I don't want to know.
But yeah, people apparently did that somewhat frequently, enough to be in a movie.
I didn't invent cooking something over a fire inside. I can't believe it. Let's move on. We need the lesson, the fate, and the twist. And then we can get out of here and eat some humbombari cheese.
Yeah, they get one order of humbar cheese.
He's even doing me now, this guy. God damn.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. He got me. What's the lesson, Jay? Barbecue tastes good? No. I know it's not. How about that we can learn about cultures around the world and it's better? No.
But all right, well, running with that theme a little bit.
Okay.
Other people can be as good as Americans. It can happen. Weren't of the mind.
Yeah. Do we want to live with that one forever, though? I know we're in a certain kind of zone on this episode, but there could come a time when
I got it. It's like a concession lesson. Food's better with people.
Oh, you know what?
How about that?
Much like a concession stand, that's something that I enjoy visiting. I think that's a lovely idea, and I'd say we stick with it. Food's better around other people, with the caveat that sometimes you just want to shovel some shit down your gullet while you're watching a bad episode of the TV.
Of course.
Yes. Now then, the fate and the twist. And I think you and I kind of both know what the twist of this episode is.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's do the fate first, and I'll go ahead and give us the twist.
Wow. If I should... Well, alright. For me, that's Pinewood Lanes.
Yeah.
I could eat barbecue the whole damn time I was up there.
Absolutely. If I'd been up in the Pinewood Lanes of
real damn
Heaven
easy.
for 3,003 years and it was Wednesday, and I get to the cafeteria, which they have there,
Sure.
and they said, pulled pork sandwiches again, I'd say, load her up, give me 2 or 3. Coleslaw, potato salad.
Wow.
Hit me.
And then listen to that feller sing fucking Rammstein. Bob Dylan and
Sure.
Rammstein, was it?
Yeah.
Because that's also in Pinewood. That's how it started.
That's the one
Did he have
voice I
barbecue?
can do.
What do you got?
You want to hear it?
Go ahead. Go what do you got?
La 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 la. La 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 la. The man in me had some time to keep from being seen, but that's just because he doesn't want to turn into some machine.
That was good. That was good.
Now, I wholeheartedly agree. We have reached a unanimous decision, but BBQ in the Pinewood lanes of heaven. There was never any doubt. Now then,
What's this twist?
the twist of this episode, Jay, and I hope you're ready. These are our real voices. We actually are not, we don't have southern accents.
Oh, that is pretty obvious
We,
for the twist.
Yeah, well, we were so deep inside those characters that I understand it became difficult to see outside of it. For me as well. I had to go through a whole kind of ego death. But
I did that in the Uber ride on the way here.
yeah, Uber ride
Anyway.
ego death.
Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, all the opinions about barbecue that have been expressed in this episode were accurate.
Oh, yeah.
And I really don't see myself turning around on brisket. I'd love to, but I don't see it happening. So. And also, I do want to try some Pulami cheese. So, should we?
That's not the cheese that they set on fire in the Greek restaurants. That was the Greek one.
Yes, it was Mediterranean.
There's the cheese. No, it's feta cheese that they set on fire. And it gets all fucking crusty and melty, and they put the fire out.
I was once in a restaurant with my parents when I was a little boy, and they had a dish where they let cheese on fire. And I ran past it and went, fire! Even though I knew there was no danger. And my parents were like, come on.
Anything for a laugh.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, no, it's explains a lot.
Yeah. Fire!
I mean,
Still doing it.
this is part of science, I say.
And this is a part of the sign-off that I say.
Hello there. It's almost the end of the show, but not quite. I'm Zach Caffrey,
I'm Jason Ford.
and you just watched the episode of Metaphiles that you watched, and now you're seeing this, and it's the part where we say, it's like us, subscribe to us, comment about it,
Get on our shit.
get on it, build a little community with us. You're all a part of it. It's a nice little world we have here.
It's just a big ball of liking and subscribing and comments.
And it's wonderful to do. And you like doing it. You do.
You do.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
And this week, why not make a comment about bye.
Bye-bye.
Metaphiles.